Welcome back. We are right here excited and celebrating a wonderful, momentous occasion. We have a birthday that we are celebrating. Anybody know who I'm talking about? Or what?
Well, I know there's another birthday tomorrow, but I think, are you talking about MD&M West?
I think I am. Everybody, are you excited? 40 years.
40 big ones. And it's
40.
just getting better all the time.
You know, I was born in 1985. We really don't have to talk about this, do we?
I mean, we kind of do. It's really, really exciting. And what's cool is there are exhibitors that have been here for all 40 years.
All 40.
Jeez. Can you imagine how their technology has changed from the first time they were here till where they are to today? I mean, how do you have that level of extreme change in one business?
I don't know. I think right now we've seen an escalation, an acceleration of the technology that has been taking place. If you wander the halls and you're looking at all of the individuals that are displaying those wares, my gosh. I've been doing this for maybe 5-7 years right now. I've seen those massive changes, and it's exciting. I wish I was younger.
I will go on the record and say that technology has gone bananas, and if you haven't gone to see Bananas upstairs, you're missing out on a great treat. We all enjoyed the fruit ourselves, but even more than that, the advancements that they've made in design, you got to go check them out. It's been super awesome, and I think they have bananas, and they might be fully ripe for the picking.
They do have bananas. Yesterday when they were setting up, we were touring all the facilities, we were talking to people, and we got some bananas. The bananas were not ready yet, but they were. And their show and their display and their ability to talk us through what they were doing was awesome.
So what are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about what we were doing 40 years back?
Well, I mean, we already know that Anne was born, so
Yay!
she was
nothing to contribute.
She
so
just
much.
got here. But for those of us that were walking around for a while, about 40 years ago, what were you doing, Scott?
Well, I'm going to blow your mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to blow your mind.
I can't wait.
I was with an organization called Up With People.
Oh, wow.
And I was a performer.
Get out of here.
That's right. And we tootled around the country and the world singing and dancing. And that's what I was doing. And I was
Sing us a tune, Scott.
Yes, like what kind of singing?
family stuff, man.
I need use cases for my
Use
research.
cases. Oh, boy, I'm telling you,
I think we could belt out a pretty awesome happy birthday to MD&M.
why don't we
Ready?
do that?
There you go. You
Okay.
started off.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, MD&M.
We blew that.
That was awesome.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, hey!
That is as
We're pretty
close to
good. We got to take
karaoke
this
as
show on the road.
That is as close to karaoke as I'm ever going to do. Let that be the record. That's all the singing you're going to get from me.
We have evidence that Tony sang.
Tony sings.
Yeah, well, if that's what you call singing, I'm about as good as singing as I am as machining or welding or polishing or any of that. Nobody wants me to do that, but the experts here are doing an amazing job.
Yes. And I think some of these experts could have come up here and sang with us. They've been partying with us over in that corner all day.
Listen, they're going to get a chance to come sing tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, Jim's back. Hey, Jim.
Hey, guys.
How are things going upstairs?
It's really cool up there. I can't stop with the coolness
Yeah.
and just the technology, the conversations, the people that I am meeting upstairs are absolutely amazing. I'm trying to get more people to come down, hang out, lay on the couch, sing some tunes with us, have some coffee, have some beer later.
Yes. Beer.
It's coming. I hear it's coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the beer is coming.
Because it's coffee in the morning and beer in the later morning, right? That's the whole idea.
Then
behind
we're
that.
late. We're late, Jim.
Yeah.
Did anybody talk about AI?
Yes, AI. So just had an amazing conversation with somebody about AI. The concept that I heard from this guy, and it was amazing. What I asked him, is AI really truly going to take jobs? Like, that's one of the biggest fears that people have about AI is it going to take jobs? And his comment was, AI itself is not going to take jobs. people who adopt AI and other technology will take the jobs from the people who don't. AI is just another tool. It's like when we brought CNC machines into machining industries. It's like when computers were invented, right? The people who adopted computers and that technology actually performed better than the people who didn't. So AI itself isn't going to take jobs in this industry. People who adopt the AI technology will take jobs from people who don't.
You know, it's one of those things when I look at AI scares me, to be honest. It's like I've seen Terminator, it doesn't end well, right? You got all these robots, you got AI, you got all this stuff, and I guess I'm just uneducated to it a little bit, and that's okay. I can admit that I don't know all the things, but that's why we have all these experts to be able to talk to, right? That's the beauty of that. What I look at AI is a head start in the project, right? So if you type in what you're looking for, it gives you a head start to get you closer to what you need it to be. And then you need to put your technical expertise and your professionalism in there and make it better and create it and craft it into the final product.
You know, Tony, a lot of people ask me, especially with recruiting, do you anticipate AI taking your job? And my common response, completely off the record, you heard it here first, is I think that it already has taken a lot of my job. And as a small business owner, I am 100% thankful that it has. Because that really allows me to go in and produce so many more candidates than I would be able to previously. And I think if we frame it like that and figure out how do we leverage AI as a tool to better support us as business owners, then everyone wins.
But I'm a manufacturer, and I'm manufacturing things. And then all of a sudden there's this shiny object out there, and that shiny object is AI. And that shiny object says it can change the world. It can change the way I manufacture. Do you think I have bandwidth? Do you think I have the ability to be able to say, yeah, I got to continue to manufacture. I've got to continue to do what I need to do. But I'm just overwhelmed now that I've got to do AI as well, and that my competition is going to be using AI, and then I've got to worry about that. I'm always fascinated by that journey, but who do I trust? Who do I get me on that journey and take me along to be able to do it right? I don't have an answer to that.
I think what you're talking about primarily is what I like to call magic wand syndrome, and that's when you have any technology that is new and emerging, and while it may be cool, it doesn't mean it's going to be a magic wand. It just means that it's one more tool in your tool belt. You still are going to always need the right tool for the right application, and you need to be doing your due diligence prior so that you can walk in. And to piggyback on what Tony said, I think it's incredibly advancing for you to admit that there is some fear to adoption, because I think we've all experienced what it looks like to adopt something prematurely and see it go left. And so instead of going forward intentionally, we have a tendency to pull back and not adopt at all. But I think what an enemy of innovation is fear. I think what you do is you allow yourself to put the right team in place, and then your companies are better for it because you've been intentional about innovating, but doing your research beforehand so that you know that what you're getting is the right tool for the application.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Were you going to say something, Jim?
Go, man.
You know, AI, like we talked about, is another tool. I remember the first molding conference I ever went to. It wasn't MD&M West, but it was the first molding conference that I ever went to. And it was the first time I saw anything about 3D printing and additive manufacturing. And the way that they came out was blasting mold makers and saying, we're coming for your industry. We're coming for your jobs. We are going to dominate the industry. You're not going to be building molds anymore, right? That was the story that additive manufacturers were telling. And it was a molding conference. And there's a room full of mold makers. And they were like, cool, we don't want to talk to you at all. We have lost all interest in anything that you have to say because now you're threatening our livelihood. And then there was a company, I believe it was Carbon, and they came out and talked and they said, we're not gunning for your jobs. We want to help you be better at your job and make you more efficient. We want to help you get that prototype out. We want to help you get that first run out. We want to help you with those short run projects. We can't compete with the large scale initiatives, the high cavitation. We're not going to do that, right? But it took the innovation to a new level. They cut the fear off where so many other companies were saying, you should fear us. If you don't adopt this, we will crush you. And I think that's where people fear AI a little bit.
And I just want to kind of pile on all of what you guys have been saying just
Pile
now. That's why words matter, right? Words matter. How you use words matter.
Absolutely.
And Scott, going back to your point about being that manufacturer that doesn't have the time. So go to your team, go to your staff and say, hey, I see this being something we need to change. How do we do it? If you're reluctant to bring AI into that conversation, use your team as your AI prompt, right?
Yeah, I just see that you're just going to have to do it, whether you like it or not. You come kicking and screaming. You're going to have to figure out exactly how that tool will help you manufacture better, stronger, faster, whatever it might be. But the reality is that you don't be left behind. It's happening. I still think we're at the tip of the iceberg. I do.
And I love the solution providers out there that are willing to help, to build on Tony's point from earlier, and I think it's really important we could take like a lesson from Mr. Rogers even and say something like, look for the helpers. There's going to be so many companies and business adventures and new things, innovative things that come out of this. So I'm excited. I'm excited about AI.
Here's the other thing I'm excited about. You and I, we got a lot of gray hair on our head and our face. We're older, but that next generation of manufacturer, that next generation of student that we want to bring into this space, they're already using AI.
Yeah, it's exciting.
They know how to do it. So when we're sitting there going, how do we bring people into manufacturing? What does that look like? Well, you allow them to use the tools that they're already using and excelling in. Allow them to use AI and show you and the older, more seasoned veteran people the benefits of it and how that works. It's not for us to learn everything.
I'm sorry. Can I make a suggestion,
Please.
though? We use it as a tool, not to replace. This isn't meant for you to use it so that somebody else can do your work while you're being compensated to do the work. And I want to be clear about that because I think we've all had that one employee that's phoned their work in because they thought ChatGPT knew how to phrase something in a better way than they did. So we want to make sure that when we're using tools like this, we are using them as tools and not as replacements. And then I want to hone in on what you said about additive manufacturing coming from mold makers because as someone that works with CNC machinists every single day, the first guy I want to talk to on the shop floor is some guy named Bubba next to his CNC that's been doing this for 50 years. And I want my applications guy to find out all the knowledge Bubba has so that they can make things faster and more innovative. But I can't afford to lose Bubba's knowledge. I need the past, I need the present, and then we go into the future.
Let me push forward this conversation. I don't think that you can live in the world of data acquisition. I want more data. I want more insights. You talk about CNC. I want more information coming to me so that I can make better decisions. And more precise decisions and more tactical decisions. That's a data equation. And if I know that I have data, I need a tool to be able to process that data. You can't have data collection without an AI sort of enabler to be able to do that effectively, to bring back that information.
Because then all you have is just a bunch of stuff, right? It's great to get data.
And information.
Data is really, really important, like you said, right? Like, how do you know if you're efficient? How do you know if you're profitable? All these things are things that the people walking around are thinking about. Business owners need to know. I created this product. When am I profitable in it? How many of these do I have to sell in order for me to be profitable in it? Is my team working enough? Is my team working too much? Is there burnout, right? You need the data, but the problem is people don't know how to use the data. So they collect it all, and it just sits there, and we don't know what to do with it.
Algorithm.
Come on,
So,
Jim. What do you think?
We've now have a little bit of a crowd. I want to ask the people who are here,
Yeah.
do you have any questions, comments, or concerns about AI or automation that we can all talk about right now?
Don't be shy. Anybody?
Because I know for me, I don't understand it. I would love to, like somebody asked me the other day, they said, Tony, do you use AI at all in your business? And I thought, I don't know how to. Right? I don't know what that looks like in my life because we work with our hands. There's nothing that's automated in our facility, whether it's the mold building and repair side of things, whether it's machine building side of things. We don't utilize AI, but I would love to figure out a way to do that so my team can take a little bit easier route to do those things that they need to do.
We got one right over there.
Come on up.
Hi.
Hi.
To that point, you said you work with your hands. I just walked in a few minutes ago.
Yep.
Could
Yeah.
you? What do you make with your hands?
So we do, we're mold makers that don't build molds. So we do polishing, mold maintenance, hot runner repair, laser welding, laser engraving
Okay,
for the
so
plastic injection industry.
So you're not doing the actual design work.
We are not.
Okay.
No.
My misunderstanding, I was going to say AI and the future of design is that.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely inextricable. AI will come up with designs that we wouldn't have thought of. And we've seen the kernel of that just in the past few years, when you can go into certain platforms with a traditionally manufactured part, a CNC part, an injection molded part, a metal stamping, and say, I need it to have strength here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
And then that platform with an AI algorithm kind of grows the part. Now, it may produce a part that can only be 3D printed, but it will create a more efficient part.
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand what you do. I don't know how you would use AI in your area, but that's where I think we're going to see a lot more AI-inspired design that we can't think of.
Sir, who are you with? What's your name?
My name is Jack Heslin. I actually, I'm going to do a plug for me, and then I'm going to do why I'm here.
Yeah.
I work with a company in Singapore that's called Creates 3D that specializes in 3D printed ceramic parts for high-end medical applications.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's one thing I do. The reason you caught my attention, I launched my own online community called, and this is a plug, the AIconversation.com
Oh, wow.
for people like you who say, I don't know where to begin.
Yeah.
THE is part of the domain, the AIconversation.com. That's my community and my site for people who don't know where to get started.
I love it. I love it. And so, do you have
Hi.
in that community? Do you have other vendors that you have brought to the table, or
Yes.
that are part of that can
I-
help with that education to people like
So,
Tony?
I could talk for an hour. I have Irish DNA, so just shut me up if you need me to.
We've
Not
got 5
today.
minutes, man.
Just
Maybe some of you are familiar with a book that came out 20 years ago called The Wisdom of Crowds.
Yeah.
And the idea was that if you get people together from a diverse background, they can all chip in to come up with a better solution.
yeah.
So my online community called the AI Conversation is about bringing you together and you together and you together and say, okay, this gentleman works with his hands. There's all these AI tools out here. What can he's got wisdom too to share. How do we figure this out so we all get the most out of the tool?
Yeah.
So right now, I only launched a couple months ago. I've only got about a dozen members. But the great thing is they have nothing in common. And we're building courses, AI courses, and sharing how to use them and so on.
I love it.
That's awesome.
There it is.
Thank
Can
you
I
for
ask
sharing.
the
That's
panel
amazing.
a question?
That's
Can I
really
ask you
cool.
guys a question?
Yeah.
So, I'm listening to you talk about fear of adoption and the way you're overcoming it. I'm listening to you talk about your experience in industry and what that means. Do you think that MD&M is 40 years old. We have seen it advance. We've seen it grow. We've seen a big amount of diversity in the offerings that are here, the approaches that are here. Do you think we ever get too old to learn how to do those things? I know that there are times when learning is expensive, but do we ever get too old to say this is a new technology? It could be the key to me moving forward, right? In the way I make things, the way I service my clients. Are we ever too old? Scott?
Like age? Like
well,
age
I
or
don't think it's
old,
an
or
age.
what's
I don't
the-
think it's an age thing. I think it's a
I think it's
mentality.
an excuse.
Oh,
Or an
I hope not.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time. I'm all jacked about the future. There's just, I get to live the Discovery Channel dream. I get to speak and talk to individuals that are leaders in what they do, and then just pick their brains. And I can just sit back and hear what they have to say and experience exactly what they're thinking about. It's exciting. Don't be old.
No.
Don't.
And Lisa, to your point, what I look at is my least favorite phrase ever
Yeah.
is it's because we've always done it that way. I cannot stand it. Because we've always
Preach.
done it that way is not the right answer for why we do things. The right answer to why we do things is because it's the right way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And if that has to change, then that has to change. So I think what happens is we get stuck in these little ruts of our life, and we don't want to try different things because we know that this works, right? There's that saying that good enough is good enough.
Yep.
But you could be great if you
Yeah,
just
and
take that
be
extra
great,
step,
yeah.
right? You could be great. So we encourage our team and everybody around us to say, like, to challenge that idea and say, why are we doing it this way? Does it make sense for us to do it this way? What if we tried this, right? And I think if you can stay curious and you can keep your mind open,
100%.
then you have an opportunity to grow.
Yep.
I think when you plant your feet in the ground and you say, no, I'm not changing because I'm comfortable and I don't want to do anything different, that's when I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's a stubbornness thing. And I think that knows no ages.
It's a crotchety thing.
I'd agree. Absolutely agree. Tony, my challenge for you this week, and by the time I'm done with you guys, everybody will have a challenge. But my challenge, Tony, for you this week is go upstairs, walk around. I want you to come back at some point in our friendship, near friendship, and say, Jim, here's the AI technology that I found that is applicable for my business. Fair enough?
I love it. I love the
Awesome.
challenge.
Jim's
you wanna
out
do a
here
final-
dropping the gauntlet on
I know.
I'm not messing around anymore, guys. Do
I
not
think-
take my nicety and empathy for weakness.
I think again, you know, the era of AI agency is gonna play huge into this as well. But it is yet to be seen, for sure. And looking forward to having some more awesome chats like this. This rocks.
Well, listen, I'm so excited that you guys all came back to sit with me and have this conversation. We're excited to be at MD&M West, and we can't wait to continue on the awesomeness that is in this week.